Last week in our get-together, we had a question to discuss. I have not received any follow-up emails or comments on it. So I'm going to assume that the person who questioned got the answer and there is no more clarification required. If my assumption is incorrect, please let me know via phone call or email. So since there are no other questions, we will pick up the Shree Guru Granth Sahib on page 91. When we were discussing Shree Guru Granth Sahib last time, it was on page 90. Pauri har apni bhagat karaye, vadiyai vekhaliyan, apni aap kare parteed, ape sev khaliyan, har bhagtan nu de anand, फिर घरी बहालियन, पापियां नू ना दे फिर रहन, चुन नरक घोल चालियन, हर भगतां नू दे प्यार, हर अंग निस्तारियन. This was story number 19. So the question, the message being given was that those who are on the positive path, har bhagtan nu de diya pyar, they get the blessing, grace from him, and papiyan nu na de thir rehn, those who are on the path of negativity, they will continue in the cycle. Na thir rehn. Thir rehna means to become stabilized, to stay at one place. Now the question comes up, when it is so crystal clear that the positive take us closer to him, the negative pushes us away from him, why we continue on the path of the negative? The next shloka addresses that concern. Shlok Mehla Pehla, page 91. Kabudhi Doomni, Kudaeya Kasaein, Parninda Katchuri, Muthi Krodh Chandal. And that is the root cause of it. Kabudhi. Budh literally means intellect. Kabudhi means misguided intellect. And Sabuddhi means the intellect that's on a positive path. The human has all three possibilities. It can stay the way it is, it can improve itself, or it can destroy itself by going into the negative. Gurbani says that's the unfortunate accident with the human intellect. Kabudhi, Doomni. Doomni literally means it is a class of people in Punjab who are professional comedians. Their wit is very sharp, they are humorous, and they make their living by telling jokes And Punjabi word for that is marasan. Marathi are what we will call in today's professional languages the comedians, jokers, who make a living out of it. We all have sense of humor and we all tell jokes. But those who become professional, they have to think of a new way of looking at the same thing and find humor. They find humor in every possible situation. That's what a comedian is. Now, one of the characteristics of a comedian is that it has a sharp wit and it can cut jokes. So when a sharp intellect turns negative, it hides its embarrassment of negativity by turning anything and everything into a joke. And we have this language in our own world also. Whenever we see something becoming bad, having a bad influence, then we immediately turn and say, oh, I was just joking with you. I was not serious. That's why the word Doomni is used with the Kabudhi. A sharp intellect which has gone bad make laughing stock of everything. So when seriously the person is advised or informed about what is really happening versus what he is thinking, he would immediately turn around and say, well, I really didn't mean it. It was only a joke. But leaving aside all this, the whole thing centers around Buddhi. If the Buddhi has become Kabudhi, the only thing required is to look at that Buddha and turn it into a Sabuddhi. Only the thought needs to be changed. The mind needs to be changed. Week before last, when we were discussing a question regarding the freedom of choice, somebody turned around and made a joke about it, and in a sarcastic way asked me, the people who just recently died in Haiti, what freedom of choice did they have? So I told the young man that it's not a matter of joking around this. Freedom of choice is not available in the matters of life and death. You are taking the wrong example and trying to force it somewhere. You are asking you should have the freedom of choice as to when and how you die. Even Bhagat like Kabir says, Kabira kya jana kab marenge kaisa marna hoye. Even he is saying, I don't know when and how I am going to die. These things are not laughing matters. The earthquake or a tsunami is not a human decision. That does not mean that the humans have no choice or no freedom whatsoever. You take that example and force it into, well, they didn't have any decision, freedom of choice when the tsunami came. They didn't have any choice when the earthquake came. They didn't have any choice whether to get hurt or whether to die. Yes, that's true. You are applying that principle at the wrong place. That's a clear-cut sign of Kabudhi. It's trying to force its way into something where it does not apply. So when we listen to the Gurbani, we cannot lose our perspective. If the perspective is lost, then everything is lost. And Gurbani says that's what has happened to the humankind. They have lost the perspective. Why? Because Kabudhi, Doomni, Kudaeya, Kasaein. Kudaeya, opposite to Daya. Daya literally translated is to have compassion, have sympathy. And the human doesn't have sympathy. Sympathy for what? Compassion for what? Human has compassion, but all is reserved for the self. It has no compassion for the others. Compassion is required for the others. And when you don't have that, you don't treat the other like you would want to be treated yourself. And what is that? Kudaeya, Kasaein. Kasaein literally means a butcher. The one who makes a living out of butchering the live animals. Paraninda ghat chuhudi. Criticism of others. Is of a lower quality of life. Chuhudi literally means lower quality of life. What's Paraninda? We have to very clearly understand these words. If we are stopping a child from making a mistake by pointing the mistake to him, that is not Paraninda. But if we are finding fault when there is none, when we are finding fault for the sake of critiquing somebody, when we are downplaying the goodness and upgrading the negative, that is Paraninda. Para literally means the others, Ninda literally means the criticism. So there is a type of criticism. We call it as a constructive criticism. Well, what is a constructive criticism? What helps the others to improve the self? As a teacher will take a presentation by a student and give constructive criticism on it, critique on it. But when everything is good, but you don't want to reward it, don't want to acknowledge it, and you started downgrading it, then now you're stepping into the realm of Ninda. Mukhi Krodha Chandal, the anger is controlling the whole life. Kabudhi is controlling the whole life. Kudaeya is controlling the whole life. Paraninda is controlling whole life. Having all of that, what's happening in reality then? Kari katti kya thiye je chare बैठी है ना. But we, as a gesture, would want everything to be very neat and clean. Kari katti. To clean a space and draw a circle around it and say, this is a cleaned up space, so we are going to do this particular act within this space. That's what Gurbani is saying. Similarly, in life, when we say we are going to do these deeds which are of a holy nature or which are good, what good are they? Kari, Kaddiya, kaddi kya kiye. What's the use of that type of a cleanliness? What is the use of that type of action that you do? What's the objective? Which is what is happening. We go through the actions of religious activities every day or every week or every month, depending upon our routine, and we assume that they have done the job. Gurbani is challenging that. It is not doing that job. It is like Kabudhi, Doomni, Kudaeya, Kasaein, par nimda kar churi, muthi krodh jandal, kari kaddi kya kiye jan chare baithiyan naal. What's the use of all that? All these four negative energies are all inside you. And all of your outer actions that you are performing on a daily basis or weekly basis, they are not useful to negate or help you uplift your consciousness from where it is sitting right now. Sach sanjam karni kara navan naav jape hi nanak agge uttam sei je papa pand na dehi. Sach sanjami karni. Unless you walk on the path of the truth in a disciplined fashion. Sach means the truth, sanjam means the discipline, karni means the action. Sach sanjam karni kara, all the actions, if they are not according to this, how is that possible? It gives the qualification for it. Navan naav japehi. Your cleanliness of the body, now, to take a bath, is not take a bath with water, but take a bath with his name, take a bath with his shabad, with his word. Because the whole of the emphasis on the outer body, the flesh, the skin, is completely useless when it comes to the inner world. Now, I'm not implying that taking bath is useless. To keep the body clean is keeping the body clean only. It is not helping anything else. So, both are needed. Gurbani says, Jio Nirmal, Baharo Nirmal, and then it puts a qualifier. Baharo Ta Nirmal, Jio Nirmal, Satgur Te Karni Kamai. The cleanness from outside is useful, productive, helpful only if the inner is equally clean. Sach sanjam karni kara navan naav japehi nanak agge uttam sei. That is the only thing that will be recognized as a good act in the other dimension. In this dimension, you can pay attention to the outer. But in that dimension, the attention would be only paid to the inner. Je papa pand na dehi. If you are not surrounded by the negative energies, only then you will be accepted by him. But understand that unless you get there by doing that yourself, as well as helping others or suggesting others to walk on the same path, you are not earning any credit in his eyes. But remember, while you are doing that, it is his grace that is causing you to move in that direction. Mahalla Bella, Kya Hans, Kya Bagla, Jako Nadar Kare. Jyotis Bhave Nanaka, Kago Hans Kare. Kag literally means a crow. Now we all know crow is black in color, and all over the world the color black is not admired as a sign of beauty. Sign of beauty is when something is white, and that's why kya Hans. Now Hans is swan, is a bird which is pure white in color. But similarly, Bagala, that's also crane. Yes. Crane is also white. But crane's characteristics are not like the characteristics of a Hans, of a swan. So, Gurbani is trying to tell us, becoming a bagula or a crane should not be your objective. That is, only white from the outside. But become a Hans, become a swan who is white from inside as well. But remember, in order to do that, you need His blessing, you need His grace. Jako nadar kare, jot subhave nanaka, kago hans kare. When His grace is shining on anyone, he can take that Kabudhi and turn into Subudhi. And that is why Gurbani says, in vid milan na jai, pyare, in vid milan na jai, main kiye karmane ka, har paryo swami ke dware dije buddh babeka. Whenever you are praying to Him, ask for Sabudhi, Babek Buddha. Ask for that intellect which can distinguish between the positive and negative, which can pay attention to the positive and negative, which can pay attention to the word of the Guru, and then put that into practice in life. Baudi. Now remember, we are doing War Mahla Chautha, Shri Raag ki War Mahla Chautha. That we see is going on. Kita loriye kam so har paya akhiye. So, now this particular body has become very, very popular amongst the Sikh religion because it is usually sung at the beginning of marriage ceremony. And it is translated or understood to be that whenever you want to do something good, go ask Him. Kita loriye kam so har pehya kiye. Tell Him, ask Him that, what should you ask Him? Karaj de savar sadguru sahita kiye. That is the traditional translation. Please help me to do my work properly, successfully, great, with great grandeur. So you should go and ask the Lord. I have a different view of this, because in my mind, human has no capability, no capacity, no authority, no right to ask Him to do something or not to do something. It is His will. He will do what He wants to do, how He wants to do, when He wants to do. if we translate these words like that, then we are negating Hukam Razai Chalana Nanak Likhya now. The basic principle of Sikhism gets negated by these kinds of translations. Because when we read the line carefully, it says, Kita lodiye kam so har peh aakhiye. Har nu, har ko is not written there. It's har peh, which is indicating that when you want to do the work, ask his name. Remember him. Go into meditation over him. Har peh aakhiye. Otherwise, har ko aakhiye would happen perfectly politically okay. Har nu aakhiye bhi Punjabi mein theek ho janda. But that's not it. So we should not force the meanings that we think are okay with us. It's asking us, before starting any work, before starting any action, remember him. Do his job. Meditate on his name. When you do that, he will automatically grant you. Why? क्योंकि भगतां दी हर जुग जुग भगत उपाया पैज रखदा आया राम राजे. He has been known to grace his bhagat, his saints, his meditators, his followers, his disciples. He has always graced them. He has never disappointed them, provided you are his bhagat, you are his meditator. Kita loriye kam so har peh aakhiye. If you want to do that, loriye means if you have the need, if you have the load, if you have the desire to get something done, then what should you do? This is, Gurbani says, meditate on his name. When you meditate on his name, Karaj de sawar, he will do that. He will make sure your job is done well. Satgur Sach Sakhi hai. Because he is always with you. Sach Sakshat. He is always with you. So when you are remembering him from your inner core, he knows that you are remembering him. That's why he will Karj de sawar. That's why he will do your job well. Santa Sang Nidhan Amrit Chakhi hai. Remember, all the saints had this treasure of his name. That's why they are saints. They have done it. They are the proof. Santa Sang Nidhan. They have the treasure, Khajana, Nidhan. What treasure? Amrit Chakhi. What Amrit? So har peh aakhiye. The meditation, his name, the repetition of his name, singing of his praises, he knows that if they are heartfelt, he is right with you, as he has been with all the saints. Santa Sang Nidhan Amrit Chakhiye, Bhai Bhanjan Meherwan. Bhai literally means the fear. Fear of what? Fear of the failure. Fear of not getting the job done. Fear of not having a successful conclusion of the work. So, he is capable of removing that fear. Bhai Bhanjan. He can break that. He can crack that. He can eliminate that. Das ki rakhiye. That's the basic requirement. Are you the Das? Have you established the relationship of master and a slave, which is the fundamental relationship in Gurbani between all Sikhs and the ultimate creative energy? Sikhs do not follow the relationship of father and son, or relationship of husband and wife, or relationship of lovers. Sikhism follows the relationship of master and slave. And we have discussed this from time to time, that the reason for selecting this relationship is that in this relationship, ego is cut down from the roots. Slave cannot, if you are a true slave of the Creator, of that God, of that Almighty, of that energy, then you can have no ego, no arrogance at all. Not only for him, but also for the world, also for everybody else around you. Unless there is an ego, for even a single one, if that ego still exists, you have not been successful in becoming a slave. Bhaipanjan Meherwan. He is the remover of all fears, provided you are Das, provided you have become struck the relationship of master and slave. If you have, then he will definitely care about your success. Nanak har gun gaye, Allah babrahe. That is the key. That is the basic requirement. Nanak har gun gaye. Hari de gun gaane. Usdi meditation karne. Usnu yaad karna. Remember him day in, day out. Hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second. More you can do it, more closer you got to him. Somebody was asking me, well, just saying one thing or reading one thing or doing one thing, mind gets bored. How should we keep the mind fresh? And I was sharing with them, if you pay attention to what you are reading, you will find that at some places the language is as if you are a husband-wife. At some places the language is as if you are a master-slave. At certain languages as if you are a farmer. At certain places as if you are a technician, like a goldsmith. The language is changed, the wording is changed, but the message remains the same. That's exactly the reason for 1430 pages of Guru Granth Sahib. You can read the Vedas, you can read the Gita, you can read the Puranas. If you are bored, nobody is lying about the creation and his miracles. It should not be an embarrassment that you are reading a Rig Veda and that's not good for you because you are a Sikh. You should only be reading Guru Granth Sahib. No, if you are reading Sam Veda, you will find similar spiritual messages in Sam Veda as well, in Rig Veda as well, in Yajur Veda as well, Gita, Mahabharata. If you don't go after the story, each parable, each story, each event has a message that is coming directly from him through those writers. So you can do all of that to keep yourself motivated 24 hours, 7 days a week. Nanak har gun gaye, that is the key. Gun gana is the key, not in what language, not in which way, in what tone, in what tune, in what raga you sing. Sabna raga vich so bhala bhai, jit vasya mane aaye. That is the key. Jit vasya man aaye. Raag is not important. His memory is important. So, this is the pauri number 20. Let's see if we have time to cover. Yes, we have the time to cover. On page 91. So, if you want to do that, Gurbani says, here is the process to do that. Here is the method to do that. Next shloka. See the link from the previous pauri and shloka to the next pauri and shloka. Satguru miliye ulti bhai. Remember what was the other thing? Kabudhi, Doomni. The intellect was making fun of everything that was being told to him. Why? Because it was gone on a negative thing. So if you want to change that, what helps you? Sadguru miliye ulti hai. You find those, the company of those who have gone on this path. Getting together on a weekly basis, even on the telephone like this, is an attempt to try to change that intellect which thinks negatively, makes fun of the spirituality, and does only the outer ritualistic thing. That's exactly what we are trying to do as a group, as a sangat. Sadguru miliye ruti bhai, navnid kharcho khao. When ulti bhai, when it turns upside down, from where? From Kabudhi. From Kabudhi, when it becomes Kabudhi, then you are ready. Navnid kharcho khao. 18 siddhi piche lagiyan feran nij kar vajje nij thaaye. Then all the miracles that you have only hearing about, they will be available to you. Now, let's not take it literally, because we are not going to start performing miracles. It's basically saying that nothing is impossible. Nothing is beyond the reach, provided Sadguru miliye ulti bhai. Provided you have changed your thinking, the way of looking at the life, way of behaving, way of analyzing, way of arguing, discussing. Unless you have done that, if you have done that, then navnid kharcho khao. Then all those blessings are available to you. 18 siddhi piche lagiyan feran nij kar vajje nij thaaye. Then you are ready to go back to your own original home, nij ghar, from where you started. Anhad dhuni sad vajde, unme har lev laaye, nanak har bhagat tina ke man vase, jin mastak tod likhya paaye. Anhad dhuni, soundless sounds. Sad vajde, it's always there. You are continuously listening to the sound coming from him, that eternal sound coming from inside. You are constantly merging. Unman har level aaye. Live lag jaye. Be completely in a samadhi state. And nanak har bhagat tina ke man vasse. His meditation, Hari Bhakti, is what becomes their complete source of existence. Adhar ban jana, state ban jani. Jin mastak tur likhe aaye. Those who have earned His grace, they are able to do that. There is a word here that I wanted to explain to you. Now nid. Now, knowledge literally means 9 types of blessing. In Vedas, there are they have given the name, they are saying all these come from a certain hill, Kailash Parvat, etc. But that's mythology. I don't want to go in that. But all kind of precious stones fall in that list. Now, 9 types of different blessings. Pauri. हम ताटी हर प्रभ खत्म का हर के कर आया. Dhadi. Dhadi is a class of singers who used to sing war. And a war is a story about a ballad about some bravery, some wars. That's why they were called wars. They are stories. So because this is war, Hound Hardy, the one who is singing these songs, one who is saying these words, after getting through these stages, arrived at a state of existence, which is Hound Hardy Har Prabh Khasam Ka Har Ke Daraya. Highest potential possible God personified, is God actualized, is God experienced by the Brahmjani. And when that state of experience happens inside, what happens then? Har andre suni pukar. The Creator that is sitting inside, Har andre. He is inside. He heard the prayer. Prayer of who? The one who is saying these words, Brahmjana. Har andre suni pukar taadi mukh laya. So then, what has been Dhadi doing? Dhadi has his word in his mouth. Dhadi mukh laya. Dhadi ne उसका शब्द अपने मुख नाल लाया होया है. उस मुख दी आवाज नू परमात्मा सुन रहा है क्योंकि वो अंदर बैठा होया है. Let's listen once again. These are important lines. हाँ Dhadi हर प्रभ खत्म का हर के दरिया. After going through this evolutionary scale of what we have been talking over the past 21 pauris, a state arrived, a situation arrived, where now the observer is facing the master, the slave is facing the master, and the master is not outside. Master is not sitting on some throne. Master is also inside, where the slave is now being able to see. Earlier the slave was only able to see with the eyes out. Earlier he was only able to listen to the sound with the ears from outside. But now, his inner eye is open. His inner ear is open. And what is happening? Har andre suni pukar. That internal master is listening to the words. Why? Dhadi mukhlaya. The Dhadi is singing his praises, his word. Har puchya Dhadi sadke kis arth tu aaya? Now is the real test. Now you are questioned. Okay, fine. What do you want? Instead of like copying the others, following the whole of the world of Maya, you have chosen to come inside and look inside you. Inside you find me. Okay, now what is it that you want? Arpuchya Dhadi Sadke. Kis arth tu aaya? Why are you here? Why are you not running around outside? Look at the answer. Nit devo dan dayal prabh har naam te aaya. This is where we see the difference of the word Shabad and Naam. The word Shabad and Naam has been used interchangeably all over the place, but here it is clarified. There's one more place where it is clarified, and that is Tera pita jato nahi mainu jo kitoi main nirgune aare ko gannai ape sat pe hoi sat pe a mehramat hoi satgur sajjan milya. Now look at this text. Just exactly like this. Satgur sajjan milya. Mil gaya. Galla baatan ho rahi hain. The God is asking the question as if facing each other, even though they are both inside. The entity's observer, the meditated's observer, is facing the observer of us all. And there is a dialogue going on. There also, Satgur Sajjan Milya. Now, if the Satgur Sajjan is there, with the help of the Shabad, what else is required? Nanak Naam Mile Ta Jiva. That means, Naam wasn't there till Satgur Sajjan Milya. Naam is going to come when Satgur Sajjan Milya ho gaya. Usko baad, Naam usko milta hai. Naam bande ko nahi mil sakta. I want to emphasize that point that we don't distinguish the difference between the word Shabad. Guru ko Shabad milta hai. The teacher, the master can only give the word for meditation. But God can only give the Naam. Why? Because Naam is only with God. Nobody else has the Naam. Only God or those who are one with God. Only Brahmajnani can give the Naam or Brahm himself can give the Naam. And that's what is being said here. Har puchya gaadi sadke, kite tu aaya? Why are you here? Har devo dan dayal. I am here as a beggar. I want a daan. I want you to offer me something. Put something in my hand. Which is what? Har naam te aaya. So that now, earlier it was Shabad te aaya. Now it can become Har naam te aaya. And then what happened? Har daate, har naam japaya. See, daate ne shabd nahi japaya. Guru ne shabd japaya. God has given now the name. Not the word back that Guru gave. Gur Mantar is received from Guru. Naam Mantar is received from the God Almighty. Nanak Painaya. Painaya literally means to honor somebody. You say, I got honored by this grace from the ultimate Creator. This concludes this war. Next week, we will start with Bhagat Bani in Shri Raag. Today, we will then finish it here. There are about 10 minutes left, so I will open the line if anybody wants to discuss anything.